so when you talk about Pascha, so number one, remember, because in Ukrainian language we have two words. So we have Pascha, and Pascha refers more to bread, Eastern bread, Easter bread that we bake for Easter. Pasch, it's P-A-S-C-H-A, Pasch. That's what we say Pascha in Ukrainian. So the bread, K-A at the end in Ukrainian, Easter or Pascha, He-A, or, that's Ukrainian letters, He-A. So Pasch, basically, it comes from Jewish Pesach, from that word, meaning Passover, Passover. And the Jews celebrated Passover, and it was their commemoration of this passage from slavery of Egypt to freedom. So that's a major celebration in Judaism, and it's a major holiday for them. That is, for us, for Christians, obviously, because the first Christians, you have to remember, they were Jews. So they adopted this term, Pasach, passage, but they gave new meaning. So they saw Christ and his resurrection as the passage from slavery of sin and death to new life, to resurrection. And that's how it kind of stuck with us and got. And it's very orthodox term, Pasch, because oftentimes in Roman Catholic churches you hear Easter. But in our churches, in Byzantine churches, the proper name is Pasch. That's that passage. The emphasis on resurrection. And as St. Paul said, in our church, Pasch is at the center of everything, because as St. Paul would say, if Christ has not resurrected, that your faith is in vain. So the whole faith, the whole church will collapse if Christ did not, go into Hades and overcame death by death and resurrected on the third day. I mean, when we talk about Lent, once again, Lent is very much, Western term. In Roman Catholic churches, we use Lent. In other Byzantine churches, we oftentimes refer to that time as Great Fast. Great Fast. Now, Lent is an old English word, and when you kind of Google it, the origins of the word, it means springtime, new beginning. And it has a very fitting meaning, because during Great Fast, during Lent, Great Lent, this is so to speak, is a new beginning for our bodies, our souls, because we kind of we so much in the mood of Christ's passions and his tortures and his death, and then the new beginning, the resurrection, the new life, the light emerges from darkness. So this is the origin of the whole of the word Lent. But the whole meaning is obviously, Lent is, or Great Fast is, preparation. In our church, many people don't realize, but in our church, when you calculate all the days of fasting, it's almost half a year. Because in our church, we don't have just one Lent or Great Fast. We have 4 times, 4 seasons where we prepare ourselves for something. So if you start from the beginning of the church year, from the beginning of liturgical year, which is on September 1st, the very first time of fasting we have is the Nativity Fast, or Philip's Fast. It goes from middle of November, Feast of St. Philip, the Apostle, November 15th, until Nativity, Christmas. And those 40 days are the time of preparation for the major feast in our church, Nativity of Christ. And in early church, it was even together to feast, Nativity and baptism and theophany. So you have that time of preparation, time when you pay attention to spiritual inner side of your body and kind of reflect on the mysteries of Christ, on the mysteries of the church, and you prepare yourself for something, for this great celebration. Second fasting period is Great Fast, and every year, because it's a movable feast, every year it's a different date, because it follows lunar calendar, and it also you can correspond with the Jewish Passover, as I said, because it's the same idea. Because in time of Christ's death, that's where they were celebrating Passover. They were in that season of Passover, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But then the third time of fasting, the third time is the Apostles' Fast, or St. Peter and St. Paul Fast, or Apostles' Fast. This is from the first a week after Pentecost, Monday, week after Pentecost, until the Feast of the Apostles. And once again, this is the time to prepare for the feast, major feast in our church, the Feast of the Apostles, St. Peter and Paul, Day of Obligation. And also this is, prepare for that and celebrate and prepare for that missionary activity of the church. And the final, the short 2-week, but very strict fasting is in August, and it's called Dormition Fast, August 1st to August 15th. This is 2-week time to prepare for the, once again, major feast in our church, Dormition Fast. When Theotokos, Blessed Virgin Mary, when she fell asleep and was lifted up, body and soul, to heaven. So those 4 periods, when you calculate them, how much time it takes, so it's almost like half a year we fast. And once again, oftentimes people pay attention to different things. They think that fasting or Lenten periods, so those preparation periods, are all about dietary restrictions. So you cannot eat candy, so you should not smoke, or you should not drink beer or wine or something, which is okay. But it's not just dietary restriction. It's much more to that, because, as I said, first and foremost, it's time of preparation. It's time to rejuvenate your body, your soul. It's that springtime, the new beginning, where you allow your passions to die, when you kind of limit your body in order to teach it that it's your soul is in control and not your body. It's the time when you willingly abstain from certain things, not just dietary restriction, but from sin, first and foremost, in order to move closer to God, in order to increase, to boost those relationships with God, and be worthy of celebrating the major feast and the major festival that follows after that period of fasting. And obviously, Great Fast, or Lent, as we say, we always emphasize 3 things: fasting, physical restrictions, so dietary restrictions can be and we can go maybe into those things a little bit later, what it entails. But dietary restrictions, time of prayer, emphasis on extra prayer. We always encourage to pray, but this is, once again, even more so time of extra prayer. And finally, almsgiving, attention to those who are in need, especially around us, because this is a time to reflect how fortunate we've been, how much God has blessed us with, and how can we share with those who are less fortunate. So that's what Lent or Great Fast is. And out of those 4 times of fasting or preparations, the strictest ones is obviously Great Fast, Lent, that we are in this time of fasting right now, and also Dormition. It's a very strict 2-week Lenten season.